That is an international competition where teams of filmmakers make a short film in a weekend. We're trying to do more things this year, hence doing this screening at Bonfire, at Public. They don't have to be 48-hour films, so if you've got a film that you're working on, a film you just finished, and you want to show it to some people, talk about it, the email on the back, it will come to me. Also on the back of this is this new Redux 2025 postcard. So we have our equity stipend, which is a stipend that goes to 3 local filmmakers so they can compete in the 48-hour film project. And you just have to be from any marginalized background. We don't ask you SAT questions about your life. We're just like, hey, are you one of these few groups? Say yes or no, and then you go into a lottery and hopefully you get to do the 48 for free. If you're a student, we have a similar one for students. We are giving 1 stipend to middle school and high schoolers and then 1 to college. So those are all in the back here. All our socials are here, which is really great. But because you came in person, I saw a lot of you taking these stickers. Stickers are the best part, not just they're a sticker and they're sparkly. But on the back, you can enter into a 6th drawing to compete in the 48 for free. And that's what this QR code is back here. I love all the films we show. I like all the films we make. I love the energy behind just filmmaking and Providence and everybody coming together and working on each other's films. I know Wes is good at that. He's brought in a ton of great people tonight because I don't recognize everybody here, which is exciting. I'm going to let him introduce his first film. We have to kind of take a pause between films because they're different aspect ratios, but they're really fun and cool. So I'm going to let him introduce it, then I'll dim the lights, then we'll show the films, and once the films are done, we can do a Q&A where you can ask Wes questions about his films, and then we'll break and do some networking, and we'll be out of here by 8 o'clock, and it will be chill. Wesley Ortiz!
So tonight I'm going to just show 3 short films that I've done in the last year. 2 of them are 48 hours, and then the last one will be my most recent project that we shot in April. And it is not completely ready for showing, but it will be the first public showing of it, and I would love any feedback at the end of that from anyone. Alright, so first up is a 48 hour that we did for the summer last year, the main Providence 48 hour, and we had our original game plan Friday night for it, and then around midnight we just decided to throw everything out the window, and we made a new project that is a telenovela entirely in Spanish with not Spanish-speaking cast members. Yeah, we'll show that, and then I guess I'll come up and introduce the next one.
Hey, thank you.
Sound design that I need to start doing, yeah, would love to hear what everybody thinks of it, and yeah. Does anyone have any questions about anything?
So, first of all, loved it. That was awesome. And congrats to the actors and actresses. Fantastic. The ending, though, like that little clip at the end, are we to believe that she was sucked into the camera, or did she actually pass away and went missing?
So, there is more to that story.
Okay.
So that's the shorter version of it, but essentially the mom does get sucked into the camera and is stuck there. And there's more story around that. So if this does well and somebody wants to give me some money to the longer extended version, then there is a little bit more story around that can be written out and made into a longer project.
Yeah, I thought the acting was really cool. The idea was cool. I feel like I haven't really seen that before. And I thought the sound was cool, kind of with things muffled and you couldn't really always hear. It kind of gave it a cool vibe. So I enjoyed it.
Yeah, that was one of the things that I was working with when I was going through with my sound passes. How much stuff do we want to clean up, because it shouldn't be super clean, and there should be some room sounds and just other stuff, especially with anything where they're interacting with the camcorder. So we shot everything on the camcorder with the younger girls first, and we shot it on an actual camcorder with a DV tape, and then, which was its own headache in terms of like shooting any of those like over the shoulder shots to like find the right section, the right take, and make sure that the playback timing matches with actor timing, and that like the lip sync actually works for all of that stuff.
I couldn't
which was
believe
a-
that. That was crazy.
which was a whole other secondary thing. So there's, because when we shot it, I wasn't sure if I wanted to try to like blend the voices. I might play around with that and see if that works. But basically, when you look through the live view of the camcorders, when you see the mom and the mom's memory of the girls is what you're seeing through that, because the mom is sucked into the camera. And longer version does have a way that the mom could get out of the camera, if we get there.
So do you have ideas for building a sound design section for the end? Do you have some ideas of how to make that? Are you gonna go with pre-made effects or kind of create your own from scratch?
I would probably do everything from scratch. I have some ideas and just the figuring out how to get everything together. I wanted to make sure that the actual story elements work together first before the effects get locked in, and I just spend 10 hours fussing with something that, you know, maybe doesn't need it once you see the rest of it. Anyone else?
Wes, how long, like, total did you spend editing all of this together? Because it, like, was it a one-man operation for editing?
Yeah.
Is that sort of typical for these kinds of 48-hour, or do you usually have an editor on team?
So I have done a lot of 48 hours over the years, and I always like to have a dedicated editor if possible, just from the timeline perspective. Usually for a 48-hour on Saturday around lunchtime, I would love to have the editor show up and be able to start putting together what we shot in the morning. And then ideally, by the time we are camera wrapping, there is just whatever was the last thing we shot is the only thing that doesn't have at least a rough cut assembly. That way we can know if we need some pickups or whatever, and then also ideally picture locking by Sunday morning to give us time to do sound design, color grade, and spending time like polishing it. These ones were not that. We had an editor for the first one, but during the thunderstorm that happened while we were shooting, we saw the barbecue scene. So there was like basically like a flash flood happening like around that, and so we set up a pop-up tent in my backyard, and I was like, we got one take, I'm just gonna roll it, we're gonna just run through it and get it, and then we'll just crop around it and put something together. And all of the audio we recorded is unusable because all you hear is the rain on the tent. So while we were moving inside, all the actors went inside and just recorded it reading a script, which is, I believe the script was just written phonetically, like it's not even true Spanish, right? So they're just reading it